Hey, what's up? My name is Drew, for those of you who don't know me, and it is March 20th, 2026. Right out of the gate, I want to tell you I just did something that you probably should never do, which is date the video because, right, it's going to date it. And someone watching a year from now may say, well, hey, it's not relevant because it's a year old. But here's the thing, I don't like doing things the way everyone else does them. Um, so today, it's March Madness, second day of the March Madness college basketball tournament. My favorite time of year. So I wanted to do something today a little bit mad. I wanted to try being the key word. We'll see how successful I am. I'll try to quickly give you 20 years of building online business know-how, like just straight, no fluff, no guru, hype, BS, bunch of offers hidden in here disguised as value. Just want to give you kind of the 15 to 20 years Cliff Notes digest version of what it takes to get started right now. I mean, if you just got your computer today, you just got online today, you have zero experience, and you want to go from zero to hero as quickly as possible. You want to avoid as many headaches as possible. You want to avoid all of the client nightmares and BS, and you just want to build a business that pays your bills, gives you a little bit of freedom, right? I'm not going to show you how to take over the world and become Elon Musk in this. I want to show you how to just create a little bit of time and money freedom in your life. And again, you could go watch hours and hours and hours of YouTubes and join hundreds of school groups to learn what I'm going to do my very best to deliver to you right now in the simplest form I can imagine. So with that said, I'm going to tell you, I'm first using my favorite tool called Lucid, Lucid. Maybe it's not my favorite tool, but I've used it for 10 years, so I do like it. And it's just so I can map out things because my brain likes to see things visual. So I'm going to do that for you today. So I log in, and one of the things I like about this is it says get started faster. That's what we want to do, right? It's 11:38 right now. I've been rambling for about 2 minutes, but we're going to check the clock. We're going to see how fast I can deliver this to you. And I had to be quick because basketball comes on in about 20 minutes. So anyway, get started faster. That's what we want to do. So to do that, I'm going to tell you, years ago, 25 years ago, I had a mentor tell me the smallest piece of information that you know is extremely valuable to the person that wants to know it, right? So I want you to keep that in mind. Smallest piece of information you know, super valuable. Someone that wants to know how to do it and they don't know how. So we're going to get started faster. And with that, I'm going to show you a quick image here. I took this photo at my kid's grade school years ago, and I've kept it because it's so important, right? It says, to the world, you may be the person. To the world, you may be one person. But to that one person, you may be the world, right? The smallest piece of information you know is extremely valuable. Someone that wants to know it, needs to know it, and doesn't know how to do it. So today I'm going to show that to you, right? So look, we're starting at the beginning. So I'm going to give you the framework. And I'm going to do that by doing this little thing here. I'm going to take an arrow out here. And I'm going to do my best to not let my OCD kick in too bad here. But here we go, right? Now, here's where we're at, right? This is today, right? This is where you're at. And this is your end goal, right? This is the desired outcome that you want, right? I don't even want to say end goal. This is your desired outcome. So some common examples of what this looks like for people is they'll say things like, oh, I need to make 10 grand a month, or I need to make 100 grand, right? Or they'll say, I want, 50 clients, whatever it is. I don't recommend 50 clients. It's a complete nightmare, but whatever your outcome is, this is important. One thing you want to know is that you first have to get clear on this. Because I'll tell you this, I've been doing this 15 or 20 years now. In fact, 2007 was when I made my first commission online. It was a $25 affiliate commission from a Foresight owner product that I found on ClickBank, and I promoted it on Craigslist because back then there was no smartphones and there was no funnel builders or anything like that. It was a complete nightmare to do anything online, but I was immediately hooked from that point. Now, so I will tell you that the biggest hurdle is not offers, which are what people talk about. They're not funnels. There's not tech. It is knowing what you're trying to do, what the outcome is that you are looking for. All right. That's the number one thing, is knowing what you want. The number two problem is people know what they want, but they're not honest about where they're starting from. Right. And let's give you a very simple example. Let's say, so I'm in Southwest Florida right now. If I want to go back to San Diego, where I used to live, it's easy. San Diego is where I want to go, and I'm starting from Florida. But let's say that I don't know where I'm at. Someone just dropped me off in the middle of the country, and I still want to go to San Diego. But listen, if I am in Washington and I head west, I'm going to end up in the ocean, right? If I'm in Indiana and I head west, I might get there, but maybe I stop in Vegas, right? Because I don't know. You have to understand where you're starting from. Or if I'm in Indiana and I start heading east because I don't know where I'm at, you get my point, right? You have to know these two things. You have to know, number one, what's the outcome? What are you trying to achieve? What is your target? What are you aiming for? What's the direction? I'll give you a little hint here. Sometimes people get stuck on this because they say, I don't know what my purpose is. And that's okay. Just think in terms of, what direction do you want to go? Like, are you trying to get more freedom, more money? Are you trying to get out of a job? Are you trying to build a business? Are you trying to build a home service business? Are you trying to build internet business? Like, what the hell are you trying to do? Think in terms of direction, right? And I'll give you another example. Think about, you're shooting a bow and arrow, right? Because it's the classic of bow and arrow. There's a target. You have to have a target. In order for you to hit that target, you have to know where you're starting from, where you're at right now today. Now, I don't want to belabor this point. This should be obvious, but I will tell you, it's very easy to get distracted with shiny objects. It's very easy to get distracted with the guru marketing out there, because they are very, very good at what they do, and they make a living by keeping you distracted and spinning your wheels, so you buy their products. Not hating on them. This is the model. You want to be successful, you're going to have to do the same thing, right? But I digress. So number one thing you have to learn is, where are you trying to get to? That's it. What's your outcome? What's the target? What direction are you going? And where are you at right now today? And when you understand where you're at today, you can get clarity on the direction, right? All right, now listen. If you're here today and you want to get over here to the outcome, then this area from here to here is what's commonly referred to as the gap. All right, now along here, I'm not going to worry about making this look pretty, so don't judge me on how bad this is. I want to be quick for you. But along this gap, right, in order for you to cross this gap, you're here and you want to get here, you have to figure out what gap is. You have to then identify the path. So here's a milestone, meaning if you're here, you can't get to here without first going through here, without first going through here, here, and here, right? Step one. Think about this as you're here, and this gap is a creek, like a creek bed, running water, right? And over here is the other shore. It's nice and dry over here. Well, you can walk through there and get your feet all wet. Probably not a great idea. Or you can look for stepping stones, right? This is just a visual for you, a mental picture for you. And you want to step on the stepping stones and keep your nice shoes and feet dry and get to the other side. That's what this is. So you have to identify the path, all right? Now, sorry, someone texted me over here. The next thing you need to do is, what's the vehicle? How are you going to get across? How are you going to get across this gap, right? So I'm just going to put a little vehicle here just so it's a visual, right? What's the vehicle? I'll give you some examples. And actually, before I give you some examples, let me even give you some more clarifying things here. So in the vehicle, what I want you to think about is, I'm going to try to give you some, like, who's the person, right? Like here, like, who's the person? This is what people are going to call your ICP, which stands for Ideal Client Profile, right? In order for you to go from here to here, you have to understand what the gap is, right? So when you know where you're at and where you're going, you don't know the gap. Now you got to identify the path. What's the stepping stones to keep your little feet dry? And how are you going to do that? Well, how are you going to do this? You're going to define on who you're helping. What's your ideal client profile? The next thing you're going to do is what are the problems they have? And what's the solution to that problem? And then what's the next problem this opens up? All right. Here's a little trick for you. This is you, right? This is you, and you're trying to get here. But in order for you to cross this gap, you have to identify an ideal client who has a similar gap so that you can create offers to help that person go from here to here to here to here to here. Now, your offer may just deal with this. Your offer may help this person get to here, and that's it. Or your offer may help them get to here, and then to here, and then to here, and then to here, and maybe that's it. Or maybe you help them cross the whole way. This thing that you are learning is the exact same thing you need to be able to help other people with. And you need to be able to apply it to their world, right? Everything that they are doing and that they're struggling with, because this is a true framework for anyone. Everyone is somewhere today. And most people are going through life without any target. This is the reality. I know, because I've wasted so much time doing this. And I'm sure that if you look in the mirror and you're honest, you either right now today or have previously wasted a lot of time just being stuck here, just surviving, just getting to another day instead of getting forward, right? And I'm telling you, it's March Madness. I'm feeling a little bit crazy right now. So I wanted to share this with you because I don't want to be stuck. I don't want to survive. I want to thrive, and I want to help you thrive. And it was really this statement right here that I was reminded of. To the world, you may be one person. I've struggled in that for so long. Like, who am I? The internet is so noisy and so busy, and everyone is just talking and talking to hear themselves talk. I did not want to be a part of it. But then I realized the other part to this equation. To that one person, you may be the world. That one person you say hi to today, or smile, or help with their groceries, or help open a door, or do something, to that one person, you may be the catalyst that changes the direction of their life. You may have the one thing that they desperately need. And to you, it may be nothing. And to them, it may be everything. And that is why I'm sharing this with you today. Because for me, I've done this so long. It feels like, who cares? Who doesn't know this? But I realize some people do not know it, and they need to know it. And I would hate for you to waste all your time watching all the guru videos just so they could keep you spending in action to buy something else. All right. So again, I digress. So everyone's here today. Everyone. And most people would like to have a desired outcome. Most people would like to have a clear path and clarity and direction. Most people would love that. And if you can help them with it, fantastic, right? But this is what it is. So how do you cross this? Well, you have to have a vehicle. What's the vehicle? The vehicle really is your method of delivering the solution right here, right? So let me put this, right? The vehicle equals your method to solving their problem, right? For instance, today, my vehicle is this video and the content that I'm sharing with you, because it is the way that I can solve the problem that you will have if you're not having it now, that you will have in chasing all the shiny objects, all the distractions, watching all the countless videos where they drag them out for hours into courses and hours into YouTube videos so that they can keep your attention and they can keep their AdSense coming in. And I'm not interested in that right now. It's like, right, it's nice to have, but that's not what I need. So your vehicle, that is your method for solving your client's problem. So you're here. You want to get over here, desired outcome, more time, more freedom, more money freedom. The way you do that is you help people cross this gap. The way you help them across the gap is you help them get clear where they're at, where they want to go, identify the milestones or the stepping stones. That becomes the path. And the way you help them across that path in your vehicle is your method for solving their problems, right? Now, once you know your outcome, where you want to go, there's something else that can keep you stuck. And that's a lack of focus, a lack of discipline. Now, I will tell you, lack of focus and lack of discipline are 1,000 times more prevalent when you don't have a target. When you have a target and you know where you're coming from, it's the lack of focus and lack of discipline become less of an issue, but you have to have focus, right? Daily actions. You have to have these things. Now, and you have to have them to move across here. Oops. Right? They're important. You have to have them the entire way, every day. You have to wake up and move yourself closer to your outcome. So, how do you do that? Well, my friends, this is my favorite piece of this. You have to do that with three things: data driven decisions, right? This is what I mean. In order for you to get from here to here, you have to make data driven decisions, right? I'm going to give you the easiest example of this. The framework is true, the numbers will be different. Let's just use something that people do commonly, right? They'll say, well, I want to make 10 grand a month. Like, this is probably one of the most common answers that people give. $10,000 a month. Okay, well, how are you going to do that? Right? You're here, you're broke, you're ground zero, you're starting, you want to make $10,000 a month online selling digital products. Let's just say that. So, data-driven decisions. So you say, okay, great. Well, then I want to have a $1,000 offer, which means I got to make 10 sales. Right? I want to make $10,000. My offer is 1,000, so 10,000 divided by 1,000 is 10 sales. Now, how are you going to do that? Well, let's just, again, we're using the simplest definition here, right? Because I got 6 minutes before game time. So how are you going to do that? Well, you're going to create a digital course, right? So watch. You're going to create a digital course that's $1,000 each, right? Now, in order for you to do that, you're going to need to have traffic. Let's just say ads. And you're going to need some sort of conversion process, right? Convert clicks to sales. Now, most people are going to call this like a funnel, right? And then you're going to need to have revenue. Now, what that looks like is this. Get this out of the way. What this looks like is this. You got traffic into your funnel is the word we're going to use. And then here, right? Sales revenues. This is what it looks like. So data-driven decisions. You're going to say, I spent $1,000 on ads and I got 1,000 clicks and I got 1,000, well, let's do this, 500 leads and let's just put 10 sales, right? So data-driven decisions. So what you would know from this, you'd say, well, hey, I spent $1,000 and I got 1,000 clicks. So, oops. So that means I paid $1 cost per click, right? And over here, if you got 500 leads, that would be, I got to just get my calculator so I don't do anything crazy math here. So I spent $1,000 on ads and I got 500 leads. That's $2 cost per lead, CPL, cost per lead. And if I generated 10 sales, times 1,000, I'd have my $10,000, right? I'd have my 10K in revenue. But my cost would be $1,000 divided by 10. $1,000 divided by 10 sales would be $100 customer acquisition cost. Now, when I have these things, I can start to look for ways to optimize to get better. So, an example, can I run better ads to get 1,500 clicks? Can I change my funnel to get more than 500 leads? 50% conversion, which is pretty fantastic, but you get the gist. Each one of these becomes a conversion point or a tiny hinge that swings large doors, and very small incremental increases in conversions can equal big increase in sales. Now, if I got 500 leads, again, that would be a 50% conversion at $2. Can I do something to make that better? Oops. The sales revenue, I got 10 sales, which means I converted at, I think this 20%, 10 divided by 500 is, I think that's 20%, 500 times 20%. No, it's 2%. 500 divided by 2%. Yeah, it's 2%. So can I get my sales up from 2% to 3 or 4? Right? Because the more sales I get, the more revenue I get, and the lower my customer acquisition costs get. This is the thing. Most people will never get here because they miss the steps. Now, I've given you all this in kind of a visual. Here are the 4 steps to building your business. So, strategy, right? This is everything we've just talked about. Strategy is all this. Where are you at now? Where are you trying to get to? What's the milestones? What are the stepping stones? What's the path you're going to take? Who's the ideal client that you're trying to help? Like, meaning you have an offer, you want to sell it to them. Well, you have to know who they are, and you have to know what problem they have so you know what solutions to sell, right? So number 1, strategy. Number 2 is you have to build, and you want to do the MVP, like minimum viable product, right? You want to build the least amount of stuff you have to build so that you can, step 3, launch. Most people never launch because they don't want to spend money, but you have to spend money to get this data here, because step 4 is where people make money, right? Step 4 is optimize and scale. Now, I will tell you, I have helped multiple people go from 0 to multiple 6, even multiple 7. Even one client went to 8 figures using this framework. And what I can tell you is that most people skip strategy altogether and they start building shit, and then they just end up with a bunch of half-assed stuff built. But the people that do strategy, they wait to build. They get clear in the strategy. They get the clarity, right? They understand where they are and what their outcome is. And here's another trick for you. Remember, I had the word goal and then I changed it, because a goal is not an outcome, right? Like, you can't control the outcome. Goals need to be actions that you control. So I'll give you an example. A good goal would be to make 10 outbound sales calls today. Another goal would be to get a new ad creative launched today, right? They're the actions and things that you can control. So that should be your goal. And the outcome should be the target. That's what you're aiming for. You know if you're going to get it, but you have to aim for it, right? So strategy, most people skip it. You got to get clear in strategy. Doesn't need to take you all day. Number 2, you have to build the least amount of things you're going to build. And I'll give you another hack. It's 2026. You can get away legitimately with Facebook ads to a Facebook lead form or messenger and make an offer. Like, it could be that simple. You don't even need a web page. I mean, so many local businesses I've helped, and they go, what about my website? I go, you don't need a website. Who cares about that? We're just going to go add to form, and then you're going to follow up with them, right? So build the least amount of stuff, because you don't want to overbuild and then find out it didn't work, right? So strategy first, build second, and then launch. You have to launch. I will tell you, stop overthinking stuff. You're going to have to spend money on ads. That's period. If you don't want to spend money on ads, you have to create content socially. Forget about blog content and SEO content. Forget about GPT recognizing you. You have to create social content. You're going to have to do video content, short form, long form. You're going to have to post. And it's great if you like to create content. I personally do not like it. But if you like it, that is a great path. If you don't, running ads is the shortcut to that. And then step 4 is where people make money. I will tell you, most people don't make any money in strategy. Most people clearly never make any money building because most people skip strategy. And you have to get launched if you want to make any money. And once you get launched, you can get to optimize and scale. So this is it. This is 15 to 20 years of knowledge here. There are a million details, but those details are often discussed and talked about to keep you spinning so that you keep buying more products. There's nothing here for you to buy. This is get honest where you're at today. Figure what's the outcome, what's the target you're trying to shoot for, and figure out how you're going to cross that. And if your vehicle is creating offers for people, this is the process you got to go through. Now, if your vehicle is an e-com business, well, then your milestones look different, right? You are going to need to find a product. You still need to find someone who wants to buy the product. So I think the framework holds true. There are little nuances to different models, but this is the basis of building a business online. If you have any comments or questions, I'd love to hear them. Whether you want to hate on this video or you want to share something of value, again, the only reason I'm doing this is because of this image right here. And this image is true for me. It's true for you. All right. See you on the next video. If I do one, I don't know. March Madness, going to watch basketball.